All right, Coach. We're back. We got a great guest today, Coach Cicardo from the New Jersey Warriors. We're going to talk a little JUCO football. Um, it's election day, so if you haven't gone out and vote, get out there and vote. If you know me, you know who I voted for, so you don't have to even ask that question. But Coach DePasco will keep it. We'll keep it quiet. We'll let him keep his anonymity on what he's doing. But we're gonna bring on Coach. We're gonna talk some JUCO football, some New Jersey Warrior football. Excited to talk to him. It's interesting how JUCO football as a whole is rapidly changing. Some of it not great, because of the NIL transfer portal. It makes it harder. What JUCO was really the transfer portal back in the day.
Right.
Back in the day, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. But so that's a little bit changed. So I'm curious your coach's thoughts on a lot of that stuff. But it's I always thought it was one of the big development areas for athletes if they need to either get the grades up or they were a great athlete and they were missing something or
Right.
those kind of things. So without further ado, let's bring on Coach. Coach, what's going on?
How we doing, man?
It's great to have you. Great to have you. Beautiful election day, Coach. And you're
Well, it's great to be here, and I appreciate you uh, keeping me away from watching the TV and watching anything to do with the election.
well, you're
Anything we can, any distraction we could give you, Coach. But listen, I appreciate you taking the time.
No better than talking ball.
That's it, man. That's it, and that's really kind of what we do. But your perspective of it, and Coach, just give a little bit of your background. Where you came from. Just quick kind of rundown so that everybody can kind of know, kind of your path to where you are now.
Okay, Coach, I'm from Lacey Township down in New Jersey. I'm sure many people in New Jersey know Lacey football coach Lou Versillo.
Oh yeah,
played there. Played collegiately at FDU in Madison. They say Florham Park now. And then I went and coached down in Louisiana, McNeese State University as a graduate assistant, and then came home after a year and a half and became the head football coach at the no longer modern day high school up in Monmouth, New Jersey. Yeah, I was the head football coach and athletic director from 94 to 2000. I was the coach from 90 to 2000. Great experience. Loved that place. Great place in my heart. And then it was, I was so sorry to see it close up. From there, I went to Pinelands Regional High School down in Tuckerton for 4 years. Then I went to coach at Monmouth University for a year in 2004. And then I went home to Lacey with Coach for a little bit. And as a matter of fact, that's where I still do my day job and am retiring from in June. And I coached there till 2010. Then 2011, I went back to the college level, and as I was still at Lacey Township High School, I was coaching at TCNJ. Then I spent 2 years at Kane. Then I went back to TCNJ for 5-6 years, and then started with the Warriors 3 years ago. And it's something that I never thought I'd do, but sat down, took 3 weeks to decide, and I said, you know what? It's a good thing.
It is, and it's a rare thing right now, right? I mean, the JUCO world is very, very, very different than it has been.
Well, first, that's the purpose of the Warriors by our general manager who runs the program. It's his baby. Started in 2017. His name's Sean Kennish, Tangerese graduate in 1999. Went to Rutgers. Was a student assistant for the strength department. Then, became part of the administrative side of things for football. Coach Shiano's first ride at Rutgers, and then he wanted to go be a athletic director, but started teaching. And he said, you know what, I want to start this program out for guys who need something like this. We got nothing like it in New Jersey. Now, I know we got Cap Academy that my good friend Calvin Thompson runs. And then you got one community college, Sussex County College up north, that is the only program within a community college system here in New Jersey. So what we offer is we're basically like a co-op. You know how high schools play,
Yeah.
they play hockey, and you got, like, I know we have Lacey Barnegat, and you got Tundra East, Tundra South, Tundra North play together.
Yeah,
Well,
same
that's what
same with us, coach. We got Brick Memorial, Brick Township for for
there
hockey
you
and
go.
whatnot.
Yep, and so that's what we are. We serve Ocean County College, Brookdale, Mercer, Middlesex, Rowan at Burlington. We actually have kids from Camden Community College. We've had kids come
Yeah.
from all the way up north. We have kids from Bergen Community College, Essex Community College, and as long as they can get to Jackson by 6 o'clock for practice, um, there's a place with us for them, because that's our purpose. Our purpose is opportunity for whatever reason, and usually we have about three reasons that we talk to people about what our program serves.
Yeah, it's a unique. So talk about how the warrior system works, right? Because it's unique in the JUCO space, because they can go to these different, any of these junior college, and play for the Warriors. So kind of explain that, because I think that's always something that people have questions about, with
Um,
respect to the Warriors. Yep.
Absolutely, and that was part of our taking this thing was that Sean runs this. He runs this actually tighter than some college coaches do. Our kids are required, and they have to give him their portal. Um, to have a 12 credit schedule, they must maintain their grades. If at the end of the season or end of the spring, they come back and their grades are not up to par, if they have not completed if they have not done what they need to do academically, Sean pulls them right away.
Right.
We've had at least 3 or 4 success stories in the last 2 years of guys who, after our season in the fall, did not meet the requirements academically. He held them out all spring, and I'm telling you something, guys. It was phenomenal. These three kids, they came back in the fall after being told they had to sit out the spring, and they all had over 3.0 grade point averages, and they are all now at four-year colleges. So, we're not a renegade, quote unquote, semi-pro football
Yeah.
team. We represent ourselves as an academic program first.
Interesting. And schedule wise, like, how does that get set up? Are you guys in a certain division? Is it independent? How does that work?
We are very independent. And what we do is we play the schools out in Pennsylvania that are considered junior colleges, but they're really technical schools. We play Thaddeus Stevens
Right.
out in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, who is very strong. They're probably the strongest team out there that we play. And we play
Oh, yeah.
Williamson College of the Trades, which is in Media, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
And outside of that, what I like to do and what we've done over the last 3 years since we've been here is we've upped our Division III JV schedule, because I
Yeah,
like the
that's
fact that
huge.
our kids get on a 4-year campus, and
Yep.
afterwards, the head coaches have all come up to our guys and spoke with them after. Matter of fact, we finished up with FDU this year, and Coach Van
Who's
Kern
having
came
a
up to
hell of
our
a year,
guys.
by the way.
Yeah, they are. Hey, I love it. I love it. My alma mater, getting it done in the MAC.
Now,
Um,
listen, sorry, coach, Montclair State guy here, but sorry, so I apologize. But
no,
listen,
that's all
it's
great.
nice to see those guys doing well, though, because it's just good for the
Yes,
state when everybody's
it
good. I'll
is.
tell you that.
And now at the point I am, where I am, I love all the New Jersey colleges. I love all the coaches. They're such great people. Having coached in the NJAC, gotten
Yeah,
to know some of these head coaches I coached against when they were players. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
But
Coach
listen, Danny
Palazzo was
Garrett's
at
been there a
Tundra
long
South.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but anyway,
But
that is our schedule, and we go up to we play Kings, we play Eastern, we've played Alvernia, uh, we've played Delaware Valley. We really enjoy getting our kids out to those campuses, and those coaches getting to see our kids. And that's where a lot of our guys come. Now, we are not Lackawanna, we are not Monroe, we are not these uh, JUCO factories that put out Division I players that become NFL guys. We are more of a Division II, Division III type of junior college where our kids, we've had some kids go Division I in the past. I know before we got there, but right now, our guys have all been Division II and Division III type athletes. We are not to the point yet where, we're competing with the big boys. We also competed against Hudson Valley Community College up in New York, who is just they are growing. They are becoming a big time program as well, and we no longer have them on our schedule.
Interesting. So when you recruit players, how does that process look for you? What when you identify, do guys come to you? Are you actively recruiting kids at the high schools? How does that kind of look?
Both, Coach.
Okay.
I try and have a heavy presence online, and we have a questionnaire on our website. We try and get them to our website, fill out the
Mhm.
questionnaire, and um, you know, Sean calls them all first because he gives them a grueling interview. The first questions are: do you intend to attend community college? Do you attend community college and take a full load of 12 credits? And do you have transportation? Do you drive? Do you have a license? Those are one and two. From there, Sean that goes into, their life and what it's like to see
Mhm.
if we are a fit for them first. And coach, I try and be a little bit different. Some of the ways that, coached in high school and college um, have been put aside to be very, I guess you can say, I guess football wise, accepting of a lot of different situations that maybe some 4 years would move away from.
Of
Because
course.
what we do, we're that opportunity for them to develop, maybe which what has not been developed, or even bring out more of what has been developed in their life. And like I said, we have three things we talk about with to them. Would you like to hear those three things?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right. Who we are for. We're number one for the kid who maybe as a freshman and sophomore didn't do great in the
Mhm.
classroom or behavioral wise or whatever, and they're catching up and they need a year or two with us. We're there for them. We're there for the guys who have gone on to a 4 year school and maybe that 4 year school wasn't the fit for either side that they thought it was going to be. And
Right.
number three, which we're getting more of, coaches, because what I've seen, and I think I let Coach D know that our roster of 41 this year, 21 of them were Shore Conference players close to home. 12, 13 Shore Conference schools were represented. And what we are there for also is those guys who they don't want to spend the money to go to a 4
Yeah.
year school and perhaps sit the bench for 2 years till they are a junior ready to play, hold bags, not travel, things like that. And they decide they want to go to a local community college. They want to play football for us, and they want to do that for 2 years. And it's going to cost them maybe $15,000 to $20,000 for 2 years, where it would have cost them $40,000 to $60,000. And then they have less of a student loan when they get out, and then
Yeah.
they go to a 2 year college, and they may have the opportunity to get some money from a Division II school that could then offset the costs even more. So we were also here for the economically responsible, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and you coach, you're definitely seeing a lot more of that too, because I mean, just where you're located, right? Like, New Jersey, Central Shore Conference football, like there's a lot of really good players that when you look at it, maybe they aren't a scholarship guy, or like you said, financially, they just can't afford to kind of foot that bill for a D3 or one of those. And now with the way the transfer portal is, easy peasy. Hey, come right here, hit a community school for 2 years, play some ball, and now you can you're already in the mix, right? And for you, I mean, just recruiting the short conference in general, there's a lot of those tweener type kids that kind of fit the mold of exactly what you're looking for, but they're pretty good football players that I think for you, if you can continue to just kind of grow that in itself, then you'll get those outliers that'll come and kind of, you know what I mean, that can maybe offset it for what it is. But when guys are really looking at it, and the ones that want to, I guess, do it the right way, like in terms of putting themselves financially where they need to be, like this is the best of both worlds.
We like to believe that, and everything you're talking about, and what everything you're talking about was basically the vision we had, when we came into this program, and year after year, it grew and really become enjoying watching these kids grow. It's tremendous, and the thing is more is we want to be a fit for them.
Right.
We speak opportunity for them. Now, the thing is, they pay about 2,000 a semester, or 2,500 to 3,000 a semester to go to school. To play for us, it's 1,500 in the fall, and Sean has kept that price since 2017.
That's incredible.
And it costs approximately $70,000 for him to run this program a year. That's all the startup costs. And we're a roster of maybe 40. We'd like to get to 45, 50, but 40, 45 is good for us now. And that 1,500 doesn't even equal that $70,000 that it costs for him to run this program.
No, that's not even close.
But
no. Listen, we see
doesn't
what the financial aspect is what people don't know.
Right.
No, and that's really kind of the appeal too, right?
Yep. We've been fortunate recently. We've become part of a what do you call it? I'm not good on the business side of things. A nonprofit organization. Yes, called Next Level Dreams, and they actually they came to our last game, our home game, our last home game, our only home game, and they presented us a check to pay for the transportation to Thaddeus and up to Kings, which
awesome.
was
those little wins.
Which was $5,050. So yes, that was a little win. And we hope. Arizona, they stopped junior college football, and what happened out there is corporate sponsorships picked up, and they finance the football programs out at the Arizona community colleges. And what they did, and I'm not sure exactly how it's done, but each Arizona community college is represented by this corporate sponsored junior college team. That's how they do it out there, or else they would have dropped it.
Interesting. Do you think so talk a little bit about like how transfer portal and the NIL has affected maybe some of the things you guys are doing at the JUCO level? Has it affected the players that you're getting? And has it affected at all, probably most importantly, like their recruiting?
I got to be honest, we're totally outside of that world. And, I tell our coaches all the time that, we deal with our things because we deal with our things, but I don't even think they're near what, coaches at the 4-year schools deal with, especially the D1s that they've never had to deal with and that they now have got to adapt with. Last year, you saw it all over social media, the coaches, and I don't mean to say it in the wrong way, but complaining about NIL and this and that. And coach, I'm just a high school, old school football coach that is whatever the situation is. NIL, it's new, just like, they were able to use their hands to block that people are against when they made that rule change, right? Whatever the rules are outside of the lines, guess what? We have to deal with those things. This game inside the white lines, although there's some rule changes here and there, the game inside the white lines is still the same as it's always going to be. You line up 11 on 11 and you go get it. And that's what you got to prepare for. And outside of those lines, it's just like the rest of the world. It's just like the corporate world. You got to deal with new things that are thrown at you. So let's not complain about them, and let's go with it. If NIL's there, then that's the world we have to live in. We have to coach football. Right. And if that's what we have to deal with from the outside, that's what we have to deal with.
Has recruiting still kind of stayed similar to what it was like before? because like we've heard a lot of, obviously, within the transfer portal, that's obviously 4-year colleges to 4-year colleges,
Right.
and not as much coming into the JUCO world of recruiting as much as they used to. I'm curious if that's affected you at all, or that really hasn't changed at all from recruits.
That really, it really, like I said, I mean, we are Division II, Division III kids right now.
Right, right, right,
Right.
right,
And I'm gonna be honest, Division I
right,
kids, they'll look upon us and be like, I'm not going to play there.
right,
I'm gonna be
Right.
honest.
Well, it's
And
understandable, coach. I mean,
yes, it
you're
is
also trying to build something, right? So,
very understandable.
everybody has this persona of JUCO as like, hey, Netflix, last chance you, right?
There
Like
you
that's
go.
literally the first thing people hear JUCO. Now, look, Montclair State, we played Lackawanna every year in our game scrimmage before we
Yep.
started the season. So I understood exactly what Lackawanna was, right? There are a bunch of kids that probably already have Division I scholarships. They're going there for a year to get a grade or to do this or to do that. But if you look at the world now, right, like that's somewhat fading in terms of just like the transfer portal in general, because if guys don't have a grade, like, hey man, like you're kind of just like left out of the whole thing here, because now they'll just take somebody in the transfer portal rather than wait on you to get your grade or develop or any of that kind of stuff. But I think for you, coach, like, and what you explained excellent, like, was that, like, this is what your team is right now, right? Like, you are Division II, Division III, you're playing, JV teams and other schools of your size. What I think is great is that when you travel and play these teams, that's a pseudo recruiting trip. That's that is a one-on-one, interview for that school with a player. Hey man, like I would love to come play at, school Kings or one of these other ones that you play. And now that coach is getting eyes on you live, right? Not a huddle clip, not this, not that, not high school clips from 2 years ago because you had to go to a community school. What you're doing is you're really kind of bridging that gap and allowing these guys to continue to stay within the game, continue to play, continue to develop, and, ultimately kind of play in their backyard again and save some money before they really kind of, get out and go. What I think, the question I have for you, coach, is, listen, we understand playing college football is you got to be a different type of dude, right? But for your level, like now they have to be a different type of dude that's doing it without all the bells and whistles, per se, right? So, I mean, talk about the kid that you actually get in terms of, I mean, from what I see is like this kid's got to be extremely passionate about the game. He's willing to drive and do all this other kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Just talk about the player that you have on your team or the player that you feel thrives in your program, because it's definitely got to be a certain different type of dude that has to come in there.
Yeah, coach, we have so many different type of
Right.
dudes with,
Yeah.
I told you the three stories they come from, but
It's like
then
a
those,
melting pot.
yes, those three stories then ramify into different stories
I
within the
can only
stories,
imagine.
you know, and I really, this year, this team, I tell Sean all the time, I really love these kids and what they brought to the program and how they are going to be known, as the pioneers of getting this thing off the road, because
Right.
we're starting to get a lot more people. I talked to so many and they're like, wow, we never heard of that. I never knew that existed. I never heard of that. That's a great thing. So that's the stage we're in right now, is trying to get out there. The vision, of course, down the road is for this to become the place for those, around that 50, 60-mile radius to get to. Our guys, it's amazing to me. I talked about earlier how there's things, accept now that wouldn't accept, on the high school level or the college level. We got guys right now, though, they've accepted our terms as well. Coach, if they're driving up 295 from South Jersey and they're going to be late, they send me pictures of the traffic on the
Right.
phone. They text me, Coach, GPS says I'm going to be 10 minutes late. I mean, Coach, when first started, it wasn't that way, but then we started to develop the culture of trust.
Yep. Well,
Where these
culture,
guys,
accountability, coach. Like you're trying to develop, like, look, for most of these guys, like that structure stuff, the open communication, right? Like you're in their eyes giving them another shot, right? Like they may have already, hey, I shouldn't have done that, but now I can rework this thing, right? And you have to create within your program, right? And as you grow it, right, the culture, the standard, all of these types of things that, hey, man, if you really love this and want to do this the right way, then this is what you need to uphold here, so that in the future you can now go. And I have, like, I being you, have no problem reaching out to that D3, that D2, and telling them, look, this is a really good kid. Like, he's done it with the right way. You know, he's kind of changed some things. Like, maybe this is a guy that you want to, take. So if nonetheless, like, the standard that you're creating really is kind of setting these guys up for their futures.
well, that's what we want to be, and that's the number one thing we talk to them about is our standards. We don't put rules. We don't have them have to sign a contract of what they're going to do and not do. We don't tell them what not to do. We tell them what to do. We have a set of standards, all right, that are based on respect for themselves,
Mm-hmm.
respect for others, doing right in the moment, knowing what right is, giving 100% effort within that moment, and just having a great attitude, and that attitude is about handling things as they come at you. And like you talked about, what our kids and what they're like. Often these kids, some have never been in situations where they had to deal with things what the world sees as the proper way.
Yep.
And that's something that, I tell our coaches all the time. Listen, we're going to tell them once. They ain't going to get it the first time. It's like a little kid.
No.
They got to learn it. And seeing them come from year one, some of them were the best kid on their team. Some of them were the best kid on their team in high school. And just like every college, they come to us, and there's things we gotta,
That's it,
we don't.
man. Now everybody was that guy.
That's right. We don't de-recruit. We don't de-recruit. I consider what we're coaching here is kind of like coaching the All-Shore game or coaching the North-South game. We got guys that are pretty good, but we also have kids. And talking about the kids that we have, we've also got kids who didn't play their senior year. We also got kids who never started in high school who are
Mm-hmm.
backups. And at some pretty dang good schools. That's why they were backups. They could have started at a lot of other places. We have
Right.
at least 3 guys who could have started at other places. Their coaches told us, but they couldn't start from the school they came from. And they've done a phenomenal job for us. And one got a Division II scholarship out
Awesome.
in Ohio this past year. So our kids are all kinds. Like I said, either we have kids with 3.8 GPAs down to guys who struggle. We've had guys in their second year now who developed from, what they say in Animal House, Mr. Blutarski, you have no grade point average, and
Yes,
who
I
have
get it.
now they get so excited. They text Sean and I at the end of the semester, or even that I got my first 3.0. And let me tell you that's what this is about, because then we know they're prepared finally for that 4-year
Yep.
school, and that
Absolutely.
they've acquired what they needed. Then we also got the guys who have all those things, and what they are, those guys who are being economically responsible, I guess you could say, who have
Right.
3.8 grade point averages and are pretty dang good football players. We have those guys who then also set the tone, and they show
Right.
the others how to. It's almost like a classroom. You're not broken up into tracks. You have honor students, and then you have guys who need some assistance learning in the same class.
That's it.
And
And you got to make
but
it work. And it's
we
up to
all
them
work
too. Like,
together.
that's what's great.
Yes,
That's what's
yes.
great
And
is they're getting a shot and an opportunity to kind of double dip, right? Like, and now even more so, they're in control of their own futures in terms of, hey, I got to get a certain grade point average, or I don't get to do this every day.
Yes, that's the thing, and what we try and work with is, for instance, we all know when the kid gets the sourpuss on his face because he's taken out of the game or he's not starting, or coach, we sit kids. We sit kids if they miss practice, no matter what. If they miss a practice during the week, they're not playing the first quarter, and we
Right.
won't play our best. They'll sit a quarter.
Good
Um,
of the group. right?
you
It's got to
know,
be for the good of the group. And
and,
sometimes that's not
and
what they
that's
want to
it.
hear. And it isn't, you know what I mean? But that's life. Like you can't just show up whenever you want for a job and expect to still have it. So,
Right, right, and that's that's all part of, I guess, the first thing we talked about here was how our program we will not be, as far as we are the coaching staff for this program, it will not be, as long as it's Sean's, this will not be a renegade program. This will be,
right.
we run it as a true student athlete
Correct.
program, not just guys who want to play football. And we tell them that after practice every day. Man, we are not just
It's
here for
awesome.
you to play football. You
Right.
better go home and sit, I know prime time says it, but we've been saying it for years. You sit in the front row when you go to class. You pay attention. You do what you got to do. You need help, you go to your professor. You need help, you come to us. Whatever we
Right.
can do for that, we're a text message away. Um, and that's what we want to be about. I know we're here to talk about football, but that's one thing we believe very strongly in with these guys, especially, is because we tell without the academics, without school, you can't play football. Bottom line.
Coach, what are some of the challenges that you run into throughout the course of the year, coordinating guys from like the different JUCO towns, JUCO schools? What are some of the challenges that you have to deal with and overcome?
Well, number one challenge is uh, transportation. Them guys getting there, traffic, whatever, it could be late. Personal issues that may pop up, and well, when cell phones first came out, you didn't keep those things out on the practice field, and I was adamant about that. Now, I'm checking my text messages all the time as we're taking attendance before each game. We have kids who, we have some kids who may have some personal issues over the last 3 years. At times, we've had a lot of kids who, they had to miss practice or had to come late. They had an issue with their own child. Um, and we've had guys that have to work, that have to help support because they're still home now. So some of the
Right.
issues we face are we don't have them on the campus. They can't come walking down for lunch and watch film. Everything we
Mhm.
do is on Zoom. We're like a virtual football program. We don't have the resources of a field house. We don't have meeting rooms. When we meet on Monday night to go over the previous game and the upcoming game plan, we do that on Zoom on Monday nights. We'll meet as a team and then we'll break up offense, defense on Zoom, uh, and that is the how we develop our relationships. They can't come sit in our office, So uh, there's a lot of different things. At first we'd call it's, and to be honest, it's like a we said it was starting out it was adult Pop Warner almost. Our kids got to drive themselves to practice. They got to get there on time. They got to do things away from us. We don't have a field house. Um, However, I think what we have put together in the structure and the organization of how everybody does things and what our standards are. We don't use the word expectation, we use the word standards. Those standards make up for our lack of resources. They know
Right.
that if we got to go out on the parking lot with our sneakers and put our car lights on, that's what we're going to do. Hey, we had to do that back at Modern Day back in the day. So that's, I look at that training, it's something that has helped us here with the Warriors is we do what we got to do. You tell us where we were going to practice, we'll practice there. You tell us what time we got to be off, we'll get our practice in. All kinds of things, Coach, that we have to overcome, but we don't consider it overcoming them. We just consider it, hey, we're the Warriors. That's what I tell our coaches all the time.
That
We're the
works.
Warriors.
That
You know,
works.
so
Very, very cool. How about with like high school coaches? Do you go around and meet with them at all, or
yes, sir.
okay? I'm curious what you kind of do from there.
Well, Coach, I'm pretty fortunate that over the time that I've been in New Jersey, which is most of my life, besides the year and a half down in Louisiana, I've been able and becoming a head coach at 24 years old at Mater Dei. I've developed a lot of relationships with the coaches, not only in the shore but in the state through state playoffs. And back in the day when we used to have to drive and trade film, you know.
Yeah, when you had to meet at the diner in the morning, and it turned
I
into like
love
an
it.
actual conversation
Yeah,
of not
and
just like you mean
yes,
like when coaches were like civil and social and like
yes,
it was like a brotherhood, and instead of
sure.
everybody trying to stab each other in the back and do all this crazy shit nowadays. But
Yes,
like
and we'd be
that's
pulling
another podcast, coach. That's
be,
another one.
be pulling our videos out of our trunks. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
VHS
be,
tape. I mean, hell,
yes, we'd meet at 7-Elevens, at Wawa's, at rest stops on the
yeah.
I remember meeting Rob Hinson when he was at Timber Creek down at the uh Atlantic City rest stop on the Parkway all the time. That was our meeting place. I met people out at actually had people give me film when we played a school in South Jersey. They called me. I didn't ask them for it. They were like, "We're giving you this film because we can't stand them."
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's the way he lived.
So I had to meet him at that diner at the intersection of 70 and 73, which is like
Yeah, I
Champs.
mean, listen, Dave and I are both from North Jersey. Dave's Bergen County originally. I'm
Okay.
Morris County originally. So, I mean, listen, it's no it was no different up
Yeah.
there for when
Yeah.
we were doing it, meeting guys
Yeah.
at everywhere and whatnot. But I mean, it's a different world,
Yes.
But
So,
in terms
uh,
of you, do you now? Is there do you have stipulations in terms of like can you go into schools like other coaches and that
well,
type of stuff? Like I know you have really good
yes.
relationships, but when it
Yeah.
comes to like recruiting itself, do you do like I know Monmouth Regional usually does like a recruiting night where you set up a table? Is
We're
that type
there.
of stuff?
We're there. And I
Okay.
also go, the deal is, next year I'm gonna be able to go into everything whenever I want. Getting that
Yeah, no,
second
yeah, you're gonna be
retirement.
retired. Congratulations.
Thanks. But what I do is I probably hit a school. I did it when I was at TCNJ. I would go after
Right.
school. We got out of school 1:35. I'd be able to get to a school at 2:15. I'd go sit in a weight room or wherever. This past I've for the Warriors, absolutely. I've been to Southern Pinelands, Barnegat. Um, I've been to Tonsure North, Manchester, Howell.
Right.
In wherever I can get, I'll hit one school after school.
Got it.
Especially when their coach wants me to go talk to their kids, and I
Of course.
absolutely get there. But I also have a contact list full that I'll just text. I'll text everybody and give them I have a default message for everybody that I send at the end of the season. Sean goes into the schools in Mercer County. He'll do Northern Monmouth. Um, so we absolutely do get into the school. Sean gets into about a dozen to 15. We do hit the I go to the college night at Monmouth, but I don't do many other colleges because I like to do the in person type of deal. And our questionnaire, Coach, I get stuff from I get email from kids in California, Texas,
Oh,
helping out.
absolutely, 100%,
But
coach. They see JUCO and they just want an
yes,
opportunity.
yes, I have a default that says, "Hi, thank you for reaching out. Our program is not a school. We service the community colleges in New Jersey that live in a radius of blah 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 blah. I really appreciate your interest. However, this isn't going to be something that'll work for you unless you live in New Jersey. If there's anything else I could do for you,
Right.
please let me know." That's it. That's my
Of course,
default.
of course,
You
of
know,
course.
but yeah, I love getting out and talking to kids and meeting kids and I let them know this too. I don't say, "Hey, come to the Warriors." The first thing I say is, if you can get to a 4-year, get to a 4-year. That's the
Of
first thing
course.
I say to them. We do not recruit against 4 years. I like to say we are here. We are here for them. First, we must be a fit for them. Then they got to be a fit for us. You know what I mean? And usually it's the other way around. And I mean, shoot, when I'm coaching a high school, we're telling our kids, this place is here, and you are coming to a place that has had players before you and many that will come after you. So understand you are part of this program. You represent this program. In recruiting the Warriors, we recruit them. Listen, we're here for you, and once you decide you want to be here for us, this is what you must do to be a warrior. These are the standards that we live by, and there's no compromise. But first, you see if it's a fit for you. Then we will tell you or share with you what we are about, and then make your final decision. So we kind of reverse it. We let them know we're here for them. And then we tell them, once they decide they want to be a Warrior, what our standards are. So, we don't recruit against. I don't recruit against colleges. We're here again. Opportunity. If it put one word on what the Warriors are about, it's about opportunity.
That makes a ton of sense. It really does.
Absolutely.
It's interesting. Hearing how that program is set up and how it's run and everything like that. You guys probably have a GM system before everybody else had a GM system. So in college,
You know what's funny? I saw that. I saw some hired colleges 4 years.
they all
The D1.
Oh yeah, it's like a main thing now.
Yes, they're going to the GM system, and I joke with Sean. I send him text messages when I see on ESPN. I'm like, "Hey, Sean, they're following your model,"
Yeah,
So
I mean, listen. In all honesty, he probably has the resume to go and do that
he
at the next
does.
level
He
because
does.
that's literally
He
what it
does.
is. And you're seeing a lot of these teams like Dave and I, we talk about it all the time when it comes to recruiting with, college staffs are expanding at such a fast pace now. It's no longer just, everybody is doing their own job now. Whereas, you used to have to coach, recruit, strength and conditioning, all that stuff. And the lower the level, the more hats you wear, right? And now,
Yes.
you're seeing like, look, you literally, hey, you're responsible for transfer portal guys only. You're responsible for high school guys only. You're responsible for, look, just go out and coach. All right. Your GA will handle all the recruiting stuff.
Right.
It's just so different. All you have to do is go click on go to any college website and go to the team website and look at football and then just look at positions. Like it's no longer just, running backs coach. And now you got like, media specialist and this guy, and staffs are expanding because the game is changing a lot off the field and really, really fast.
Yeah, we're changing from glorified phys ed teachers to a corporate position is what's going on, and
right.
is how I see it.
It's like, yeah,
It's corporate.
There's no doubt that's exactly where it's going now, right? The whole thing is a business. So
Yes.
they're talking about cutting some of the 3,000 to 5,000 positions in other 3,000 to 5,000 teams in Division I and other sports, because these Olympic sports, because the way that the model is going financially at Division I, like there's only so much money to go around, right? So they're obviously allocating it to football. So, but yeah, it is interesting. You guys are ahead of the curve in that model there. I think that's I like the idea of I like how the NFL has it with one group handles personnel, the other person handles coaching, and that helps the team to really kind of know who to go to for each thing, because the old college model was, which was good for its time, was that the coaches did it all, man. They did it all, but like, there's no way that going forward that's going to be able to happen, especially with all people moving from this school to that school, this school to that school. I think that's going to continue to change. Someone just handling all the movement of people, right? It's basically like a gigantic human resources department.
it's a giant HR is what it is.
There is. It's a giant HR. It's like,
I also, with our coaches, I just shake my head and smile, because I'm like, you know what? We talk about how we go through kids like, we could have a whole different roster from year to year.
Oh, absolutely.
But you know what? So does, the bowl championship series teams, the big guys. I mean, how many portal quarterbacks are starting for their teams and doing well? They got quarterbacks in a system for 1 year, and it's and other players, so it's now where when we first started this 3 years ago as a staff, it was like, dang, man, we gotta constantly teach and regenerate and talk about scheme and our systems and things like that. But you know what? Now the big guys have to do that as well. It's not kids
Same
knowing
thing.
stuff for 4 years. They're coming in and they're learning that playbook, and it's really interesting. But like I said, also is, hey, that's the game. Get them out on practice, get them in the meeting room, coach them up, teach them, and who does it best on the field on Saturday or Friday night or whenever wins. That's it.
That's it. That's it. No
Absolutely.
doubt about it.
100%.
Coach, it's been great having you on. Really talking.
I appreciate this.
I'm assuming you're down in Florida because you have the break, right? From
Correct. Yes.
your week off.
Yes.
You're a smart man. You're a smart man.
I like getting away when the season ends. At least
Nah, that's it. Yeah, 100 coach. You're spot on. You're doing it the right way. That's for sure, bud.
Thanks, man.
All right,
hey,
Coach.
appreciate you coming on, Coach. Literally, I think this is going to be eye opening for a lot of people. I think the idea of what you're doing, like we can kind of, you know what I mean? Like, listen, we have an audience of an array of people from all over that do, you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
from who, I mean, look, we talk so crazy. People just watch it for the entertainment purposes, but ultimately, like they get something out of what they're watching with us. And like for you, I think this is going to be, eye-opening for some people that now are going to see New Jersey Warriors and understand kind of what goes into it. And, I just think that it's kind of good pub for you. So I think I appreciate you taking the time, Coach, really do. Continue to do what you're doing, and anything we can ever do, just let us know, and we'll talk soon.
All right. I appreciate y'all giving us this opportunity. I really do. Thank you. And you all enjoy the rest of the day. And I will definitely reach out.
Don't go watch that TV now, Coach. Stay away.
No, I gotta go down. I gotta go down to the beach. My wife's down there.
Nice.
Oh, let's go. All right, good. We put you behind the 8 ball from the jump. So good luck.
Thanks. Take care.
All right, Coach. Talk soon. Take care.
All right, bye.
All right, that was great. That was phenomenal.
Yeah,
good.
I
I
mean,
was learning. I learned, how that.
Listen, if you're one of those guys that look, hey, Coach never played me. Okay, dude, go here, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Go, dude. Like you want to go? You go to community college. You don't know. Hey, look, maybe you're one of those guys that I don't know if I want to play college ball, right? Maybe. All right. Well, I'm going to Ocean County anyway. All right, like I'll just drive to Jackson and practice. Like, what the hell's the difference, dude? Like, if you still want to play and it's still whatever, like, there's an opportunity for you, and you go do it. Like, pretty cool to me. I mean, shit. Like you said, you get on campus against some of these JV teams, and now all of a sudden, here's your D3 roster spot, or here's maybe some money to a 2. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, hell, if you're willing to put the time into to drive there and do all that stuff, and you want to talk about like playing without bells and whistles, like, dude, like, here you go, bud.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
Interesting. Definitely.
Very, very true. All right, we'll hit it up, and till next time. Let me see if I can. Now, what do I do? Do I play the outro? Let's see. Okay.
Yeah, we're back Friday. Friday morning, we got Ian Pace, receivers coach from Colgate. So.
Oh, that'll be great. That'll be great.
Little CAA action.
Friday or Thursday? I thought you put the
Friday morning.
All right, perfect. All right. See you all then.
Later.